Welcome back. My name is Dr. Baird, and today I'll be showing you 10 different side plank variations. So when we're building strength to solve joint pain, it's really important that we are able to find the right starting point. And then to do that, you have to have an understanding of how to progress an exercise and regress an exercise. Because the last thing we want to do is start with something that's too easy, and then you're not building the strength to protect your joints, or start with something too hard that causes you to re-aggravate an injury, and then you're forced to take time off and you lose the progress that you've been making. And so what I want to do with these 10 side plank variations is help you find your starting point so that then you can work your way up and build strength without stressing your joints. So let's go ahead and get started with the easiest variation of the side plank. Is called the kneeling side plank. So this is where we want to start if we're really not feeling confident in this movement, or we're just brand new to strength training and want to make sure that we're doing things safely before progressing on to harder variations. To perform, we're going to start in our side plank position, which means our elbow is going to be directly under our shoulder, so we don't want it too far out here. That's going to hurt our shoulder. We're going to have our bottom leg bent and our top leg outstretched, and that's going to allow us, when we raise our hips up off the ground, to use this top leg as a base of support if we're not feeling strong enough in our obliques here to hold that position, or we're just nervous about pain. So what it looks like, we just lift our hips up, and again, I just hold this position here. I can use this top leg to provide a little bit of extra support, and there you have it. That's the kneeling side plank. Next, we have the traditional knee side plank. So this is where I like to start most of the people that I work with, and what it looks like is the same as the kneeling side plank, where our elbow is going to be directly under our shoulder, but this time we're going to have our knees stacked on top of each other. Then from there, we're just going to raise our hips up. And again, at this top position, what we want to make sure is that my body is in a nice straight line. My shoulders aren't rounding forward. And then we're just going to hold. Once you feel confident with the knee side plank, we're just going to move to the toe side plank. This just adds a little bit more resistance, so it's a little bit more challenging to hold. And again, it's going to look very similar. Elbow right under the shoulder, but this time my feet are outstretched, and then I'm raising the hips up, and all of the weight is on my feet and my toes, but same principles where my body's in a nice straight line, my shoulders are stacked on top of each other, I'm not rounded forward here, and we're holding. Once you feel confident holding the toe side plank, we can move to a little bit more dynamic movements, and we'll start with the side plank leg lift. Again, there's two variations to this. Starting on your knees is going to be the easiest, but you can also move to your toes. So let's just start with that knee variation. We're going to come up, lift the hips up, same principle as side plank still apply, but from there I'm going to straighten the top leg, and I'm just going to add a little bit of a leg lift. And what I really want to make sure here is that I'm lifting straight up off. So I'm not lifting forward like that. My foot's not rotating outward and I'm lifting back like that. I'm really just lifting the leg straight up and back down. And again, toe variation, same thing. Lifting that top leg and back down. Nice work. Next, we can move to the side plank hip sink. So same thing, you can start this on your knees, the easier variation, and then work your way up to your toes. And what it looks like is we're going to get into our side plank position, but from there, we're just going to be dropping our hips back to the mat and lifting up. And the toe variation, up on my toes, drop those hips, and come up. The next variation are called side plank reaches. It's a great way to target a more broader section of your core, incorporate some upper body strength as well. So with this one, you're going to make sure that your shoulder feels nice and strong before trying this one. But to perform, we'll again start on our knees, and then you can work your way to your toes. But what it looks like is I'm going to have my hand up, and then I'm going to take my arm and reach under me. So again, this is where it's okay to turn my body inward and then come up to the start. And so what it looks like on your toes, same thing, hand up, reach under, and back. Next, we'll get into one of my favorite variations called the side plank hip thrusts. This is a more active variation of the side plank that targets not only your obliques, but your glute med, and helps you practice the hip hinge movement, which I use a lot. So to perform, This one can only be done on the knees, but what it's going to look like is I'm going to start on the floor in a kind of like a triangle position. So my knees are going to be a little bit out in front of me, and from there I'm going to come up and bring my hips forward. So now at the top I'm in that nice straight position, and when I come back down I'm going to send my hips back and come back down to my hips. So just a few reps so you can see what it looks like. And again, this one, if you lift the top leg, it's a little bit more challenging, but I can really feel it in those obliques and the glute med. An even more challenging variation of the side plank are called side plank clamshells. To perform this one, we are going to need an 8-inch mini band, which we're going to slide around our legs and put just above our knees. And from there, this is a variation you perform on your knees. We'll get into the right position, legs stacked, lift the hips, and from there, I'm just going to do a clamshell exercise where I open my legs up and come back down. So with this one, just make sure that you're not opening so wide that you're rotating at your spine or your shoulder. You're just holding this top position and performing clamshells. The next variation is called the rotating side plank, where I'm going to start on one side and rotate my entire body to the other side. So if I'm starting doing a right-sided side plank, I am going to rotate my whole body to move to the left. So what it looks like is starting with the right-sided side plank. From there, I'm going to rotate my body, come into a forward plank, and then lift my right arm and move to that side plank, and then go back to the other side, rotating the body, forward plank, and back to my right. Nice work. The most challenging variation of the side plank is called the adductor side plank or the Copenhagen side plank. To perform, we're just going to need a bench, and we're going to put our top leg, the inside of our foot, on that bench. And this one, we're just going to lift our hips up, including the bottom leg, and we're going to hold. So again, not only do we feel it here, but we feel it on our adductors at the inside of our top leg, and we're holding for as long as we can. So there you have it. That is 10 side plank variations from the easiest to the hardest. As you could tell towards the end, those exercises got very challenging. So I do really recommend before moving on to the next level that you feel 100% confidence in your ability to perform the level that you're at. Last thing we want to do is start with something too difficult and re-injure something and then be forced to take time off. So that's all I got for you today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. Hey guys, it's Dr. Carl Baird here, and I wanted to thank you for watching our previous video and supporting our channel. Now, if you're somebody who's looking to build strength to solve joint pain, keep active, and maintain your lifestyle as you get older, be sure to subscribe to our channel to watch all of our new videos. You won't find it anywhere else.